Well, folks, here we are with another episode of Cleaning with the Academy. It's 2:30 on a Monday afternoon. And you know what? If you're working and you can, take a coffee break or take whatever kind of break you need to, because we're live here on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn for the next, half an hour. I don't know how long it's going to be. Depends on who comes on and who wants to talk. Anyway, as you already know, what we normally do is we play last week's hack and then we go with this week. But I've got something a little bit different for you. So I'm going to start this just a little different than we normally do, because this past week I had the opportunity to actually recognize somebody. We do this all year long. Don't know if you've heard about it, but it's called the Rockstar Custodian Program. Now, let me get the buttons here just right. There we go. Now, all year long, what we do is we take nominations from around the world, actually, for the Rockstar Custodian of the Year. This is our fourth year that we have presented this. And this past Thursday, we got to present it to a gentleman live on the air from our trade show here in Orlando to a person, not in the same area as me. So I want to play this for you, and then I'll tell you just a little bit more about it. So here we go. I got to tell you, folks, that was an awesome experience to be able to say, hang on. Whoa. Hey, that's what goes on a live show, right? I hit the wrong button. Well, we'll get him back over here in a little bit. That's not what we want to do. Okay, hit the wrong buttons. Anyway, what we were able to do is present the 2022 National Rockstar Custodian of the Year Award. As I said, we take this all year long nominations. This gentleman, of 120,000 votes that were cast for him in a 2-month period, actually the community there in Chesapeake, Virginia, gave him 42,198 of those votes. Now that's what you call a community getting around the Rockstar Custodian. I got to tell you, I've already heard from them today. They're excited. It's still going on. They're still talking about it. I want to know, I'll bet you they're going to talk about it for all year long. Anyway, not only have I got that, now I do want to show you, you know what, you can go and nominate somebody. So if I can get the right button this time, hang on, folks, here it is. This is the website so that you can go right now. Now, what you're looking at was last year's nomination process or award for Mr. Ron Crowley. So right here on the website, you can go to right here. You can hit that button right there and you can nominate your rock star for this year. Wouldn't it be great to have your person on that stage getting that award like those two guys? Tell you what, it's an awesome thing to be able to help other people. We love being able to do it, but we can't do it if you don't send in a nomination. Easy to do. Fill out the form. Help us find the next rock star for next year. So now that we've got that out of the way, tell you what, I think we have somebody that actually came on and wants to talk live with us on the air. So if I get another button right, maybe I can bring him on the air. I don't know. Hey, I'm a one-man show and I'm not young like I used to be, but Mike, I can see your face. Do I hear you?
You can hear me. I can hear you.
Great. What did you think about that, Mike?
Speaking of young men, right?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I thought that was pretty amazing. I'd like to congratulate Leroy right now, along with you. That's quite an achievement to have 42,000 supporters out of your own town, and he has a lot to be grateful there. That's an amazing accomplishment.
You know, that really shows that the community got behind him, the school district, everybody. Yeah, this was a high school. We've done it, like I said, 4 times. We've had elementary, middle school, high school. Anybody can nominate anybody, Mike.
Yeah. I nominate you.
No. You can't nominate me. I run the program. I think hey, but I mean, the thing about it is, Mike, the reason you came on is because we like to help people, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I just moved into a new community here in Wisconsin, and I'm going to look into that Rockstar Award program and talk to the high school and the junior high and elementary school and see if we can't get some nominees going here for you.
Now, whenever you go to the website, folks, you can also look on there. Don't think it's only for schools, because it's not. If you're a church, if you're a business service contractor for the cleaning industry, if you're an industry, a manufacturer, cleaning is cleaning, Mike. I mean, we all do it. So this is rock stars of cleaning for many organizations.
Sure. Well, I may be able to find a couple of contractors that would like to be involved in that too. So I really think that's a special program.
Okay. So folks, Mike's on here to kind of chat and talk with us a little bit about some of the hacks that we're going to play. So Mike, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play last week's hack for those that might not have seen it, and then we'll give a little bit of chat about it.
Great.
So if everything works right, let me get the right button here. Hit that one and hit this one. Here's last week's hack, folks.
Dave, the audio doesn't come through on these for some reason.
Well, Mike, what'd you think about that one?
Well, I'm glad I saw it before, because we didn't have any audio on this end. But
really?
Yeah. And I had that same issue earlier when I watched this week's, but that's okay. I'd like to say I didn't know anything about cleaning bathroom floors, but I have done it a couple times. Back when I was in Colorado running American Building Maintenance, we had about 500 employees there, and I started a new program just for bathrooms where we would strip them down and we didn't leave them with bare floors. They wanted them sealed. So we did the sealing on the floors at the same time. So it's definitely a good add-on business for a cleaning contractor. The process that you used is a good process. I liked using a vac to pick everything up and then a wet rinse and a vac after that. But there are a lot of different ways to do it.
Well, the thing is that when we talk about restroom floors, the hack here was most people are putting the disinfectant in the bucket and they're just mopping on the floor and leaving it there.
Right.
And the whole thing is if you're not rinsing with plain water, your floor is just getting built up. So some of the other hacks we showed earlier was actually, the machines digging up all of the, I'm going to use a nice word, just dirt and contaminants on the floor.
Right. And then the other problem with that buildup, you get scummy, slippery floors from that. You get a wet spot up it and it causes slippage and people slip and fall. So then you have that to contend with.
Well, let's see if I can get I changed a few things here, Mike. Thanks for the feedback on that. Hopefully we've got the sound fixed for this next one because this is our hack for this week. Want to make sure you get the right one. Let's see if we can get this one right, Mike.
Great.
Here we go. A button here and a button here.
There we go.
Thanks for joining me here at another episode of Cleaning with the Academy. I'm your coach, Dave Thompson, and you might see that I'm here at the home of the Buccaneers. That's right, Tampa Bay. Here's my hack for the day. It's how to apply a baseboard stripper on the floor. Many times people take their baseboard stripper, they put it in a mop bucket and slap it on the baseboard. You know what? I don't do that. I mix it up, put it in a pump-up sprayer. Let me show you how I do it. You know what? I only need to get it here on the baseboard. I don't need to get it everywhere. So right here, I'm going to spray it right on that baseboard. Oh, by the way, you pump it up like this. You spray it right there on that baseboard, right down the edge. I keep the product right where I want to, use as little as I need. Come on back for another hack. Cleaning with the Academy. Okay, so Mike, that is, my solution that I've used for a number of years.
Yeah.
Instead of using aerosol baseboard strippers, which I guarantee you, I couldn't stand the smell of.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I like that. I also like the fact that at least I hope they were getting that you were doing it before you strip the floor and gets that baseboard cleaned up first. I've seen a lot of contractors back when I was training that would go in and first thing they do is strip the floor, then go back and clean their baseboards. And inevitably they would leave a track around that floor where the baseboard stripper would dry up and they didn't get it up in time. And then they wax over it. And so again, you didn't have the finished product that customers want to have. So
now the problem is, Mike, is because people were using the wrong type of application device to put the floor finish down. That's what created the problem, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. And so now once they created the problem, they weren't ever taking care of it. Because I think you picked up on one good thing. I showed there, folks, if you were paying attention like Mike was, that the floor out there still had floor finish. I was doing the baseboard first.
Yeah, and it's a great way to do it. That's the only way to do it for my money. So.
Okay, so now did you notice that, folks, is that we put the baseboard stripper at the top of the baseboard so it runs down and sits right where the baseboard and the edge of the floor touches that's where the most floor finish is.
Yeah. And then when they rinse their floors after that, they can take their mops and run right along the edge of that floor and keep it clean.
Well, I thought you might say something like that, but folks, here's the thing. I've got 2 more hacks set up for the 2 more weeks. So the next week, our hack is, well, what machine do I use and how do I machine the edge? Because, Mike, I don't know about you, but I have spent many hours on, yeah, you're shaking your head. You know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Okay, so don't tell the hack here now.
Okay.
All right, don't give away the secret yet.
Spent a lot of nights on my knees and with doodlebug pads and things like that, trying to get those baseboards cleaned up.
Yeah, and the thing about it is as we're going to go through these hacks, folks, there is a different way to lay floor finish today than what we've done before. And so we're going to try to show you a few different ways of doing things. That's the reason for the hacks, Mike, is so that people can get these little tidbits that, I don't know about. I don't know why, but people just aren't picking up on some of these things.
Yeah. Training. That's what it's about, right?
Oh, we don't have time for that. We got to keep doing the work, Mike.
Yeah. How many times do you want to do that work, though, for the same pay?
Well, and that's exactly the reason why we're doing this, folks. So you've seen the two hacks that we played from last week and this week. If you have some comments or you have some thoughts, I notice we got some people watching. Thank you very much. If you come on live, you can actually type in whatever question you might have for us. And then what we would do is we would answer it. But I've been watching the board. Nobody's chatting with us this afternoon, Mike.
Well, that's not good. Come on, guys.
Come on. That must mean they're working too much and don't have time for us.
There you go. Maybe they're doing some baseboards.
Well, we've got 2 more hacks coming up in the next 2 weeks talking about baseboards, how to machine them, and as Mike said, how to rinse them. Yeah. Is there any other question? I mean, you were in this for a while. What was the most popular question, Mike, that people always ask?
Well, it depends on which side you're looking at. If you're looking at the cleaning side, the man hours was always a big question. How many man hours do I calculate with floor care in particular, because that's really difficult. It depends on how many layers of finisher on that floor, and how long has it been since it's been cleaned, and how many times was it buffed with a high-speed buffer or a propane buffer before you were invited to come clean it all up. Working with schools especially, they go for years and years without stripping sometimes, or at least they used to. And instead of doing a full maintenance program, they would do a scrub and recoat, scrub and recoat, scrub and recoat, and then buff like crazy. And they did a lot of spray buffing, which just built up more on that floor. And yeah, they had a lot of shiny dirt, but nobody could tell what color the tile was anymore. So that was one of the big questions that I was asked regarding floor care, was how many hours should I allot for this? And there's never a fixed answer that covers every single floor.
No, and you're absolutely right. And that's why I teach here in class. There's a number of different ways to go after doing floors today. And, we're actually talking about different flooring materials than we used to take care of. Sure. But unfortunately, people are still trying to do the same thing to all these different types of floor materials, and it's wrong.
Yes, it is. It is, because if they're putting floor finish on terrazzo and marble and granite, that brings up new problems, because a lot of the owners have gotten away from putting floor finish on the floors. Now they want them diamond buffed and diamond polished, and so that they last longer. And yes,
and that's exactly why we have a floor care class that teaches you all about that. But the other one too is the luxury vinyl floors. You don't put the same floor finish on them. You don't take care of them the same way. Right.
Now, when I left the industry, they didn't have the luxury vinyl floors yet. They were just when I was on the supply side. A lot of the hospitals had just started coming out with that and using that in their hospitals. So through Johnson's, I got involved with that a little bit, but not a lot.
So let's tell everybody now, something, folks, this wasn't staged, that Mike is somebody that I know and everything. Where did we get together at, Mike?
Back when I was running NBSC Group. I started that, I don't remember how many years ago it was. But that's when I first saw you out here, and then we reached out and connected with each other on LinkedIn and started having occasional conversations, and then I kept following you. And when I left the business, I want to say it was 20 years ago. It was 2018, however long ago that was. In 2018, I had to have open heart surgery, so I left the industry entirely at that time, thinking I was going to be permanently retired. when the doctor finished with me, I was in better shape than I have been in a long time. So I was excited about that. But
and that's the whole story, folks, is as you heard, Mike and I kept up with each other, and we just got together on LinkedIn. He saw some of these clips that we're doing. He liked the idea, and I said, hey, come on, let's talk about it. It's exactly what we want you to do. This is a free time, hour, or whatever it is, of coaching between people in the cleaning industry, where you can bring up your question. We'll talk it through. If we've got a hack for you already, we'll throw it up on the air. If we don't know what you want to talk about, I'll find somebody, because I know people like Mike all over the world.
If they're not taking advantage of this opportunity that you're giving them, then they probably shouldn't be in the business. It's about that simple.
Okay, so he said that, folks. I will agree with it because he said it. All right, but here's
you have to fine tune your trade. Always fine tune your trade, and the cleaning industry, as you and I've talked about in the past, is a trade. And
absolutely,
it isn't that everybody that can pick up a vacuum and a dustpan and a duster and a mop and bucket and swing machine can actually do the work. I'll tell you my first story about doing a floor, because I thought I could. I worked for a janitorial service, did floors for them. This was when I was in high school. And I thought, well, this is easy. I can do it myself. So I went out and got an account, bought the equipment, charged $50 to do that floor. It was a store similar to a 7-Eleven. It's called the White Hen Pantry back then. And so I went in and did that floor, and I wasn't happy with it. So I came back the next week and did it again. I spent 6 weeks in there doing that floor before I got it to look the way it really should have looked. And that was my training.
Don't we all have those stories, Mike?
Yeah.
And I'm sure if you're listening, you probably have a story. This is what it's all about. Sharing some stories, sharing some information. This is exactly why Cleaning with the Academy was developed. We're going to do it all year long. So if you're live with us right now, I noticed there's a few people online. If you've got a question, type it in. We'd be glad to talk it over.
Absolutely.
If in fact you're watching the recorded version and you still have a question, or you have a suggestion maybe for a hack that you'd like to see, drop us an email. You can get the full Academy experience there at academyofcleaning.com. You can find all about this. If in fact you don't want to come on the air and be like Mike and show your face and everything, then that's fine too. Put in your question, send it to me, and we'll talk about it. It's all about exchanging information and experiences, Mike.
Absolutely. It's fun to share. You forget what you did and what you don't know. So I really enjoy having this opportunity to come on and share some of the things that I learned over 50 years in the business. So,
we're live on the air every Monday afternoon, and somebody already today had said, well, why did you pick Monday? I said, tell me what day I should pick. Well, you know what? Then it changes. I don't know. I can tell you, the one day I got that most people don't want me to do it, Mike, is Friday afternoons.
That's right. And probably if you did it every day of the week, David, they'd ask you why you're doing it so often.
There's always somebody's going to say, why don't you? And then I'm like, okay, so the people that said, why don't you do it on a different day? Well, why don't you hear on Monday? If you're listening to the recording, it doesn't matter what day we taped it on, does it, Mike?
Pick your day and hour that's best for you, right?
Right.
Yeah.
What we're asking you to do is just involve yourself. And here's the other thing. Please like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and share it with people. That's the only way the information gets out there, Mike.
Absolutely. Yeah. Spread the word, right?
That's it. That's the whole idea. Let's see. I think we got everything up there. I just couldn't help it. I had to start with the rock star of this year. I just love being able to do that for somebody.
I think that's an amazing program. I can't wait to get a little involved in that and see if we can't help you out there.
So anyway, Mike, I appreciate you coming on and spending some time with me.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, you don't have to have an invite. You can always come back. Hey, I'm always here.
Okay. Just send the links and I'll be there.
All right, folks, if you're wanting to be on the show, just send me a note like Mike did, say, hey, I want to be there. I'll send you a link like he just suggested. So you have to have the invite, the link, in order to get on the show. If you don't want to be on the show, but you have a question, you can just send me in the question and we'll talk about it. You don't have to come on the show in order to ask a question. So I got you covered both ways, folks. As Mike and I said, hey, we're just two old guys giving our information out. So come and take advantage of us. Going to hit another button here, Mike. Thank you for being on the show, and I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, and keep that ticker going well, my friend.
You too as well.